it's like in one. It's like basically he's trying to live a life where he portrays himself as this family figure that can be seen on family television, but behind the scenes he want to be a hoe. You know what I'm saying? And um my thing is like if you spend all like if you spend all the energy building that up just so someone can come and knock it over or take it away from you, what are you building and why? Like why waste your time?
Calibrating cybernetics.
Talk to him now.
AT Andre.
Come on, Dre.
Yep. Tripping with Let's Go. Woo! Tripping with Theobold.
What's your name?
Theo so bold.
Yeah.
Driggity. Let's go. Tripping with Theobold. Tripping.
What are we doing?
Tripping with Theobold.
Come on, Dre.
Yo, mic check 1 2. Hey, what's going on, guys? And welcome to another episode of Tripping with Theobold. I'm your host, Andre Theobold, and welcome to the show. Glad you could tune in. Just gonna get right on into it. Shay. Yeah, I originally wasn't gonna do a video on this, but gotta get my 2 cents on this. Yeah. So where do I start, man? So as you guys know, Shannon Sharpe has a case being thrown at him. It's an alleged assault situation. You know, I gotta watch my language on here. But yeah, he out here, you know, wilding with the young women, you know. And right when he signed, or right when he was getting ready to sign his $100 million podcast deal, here comes a young John coming through, you know. Hey, he did something inappropriate to me, you know. And I'm not trying to diminish, you know, victims out there or whatever, and I'm not here to judge the case. Like, this is not the purpose of the podcast. This is not the purpose of this episode. This episode is to analyze, you know, how you should move when you're building something, right? So let me go ahead and just get going, man. So let me first start off by saying, look, I have a lot of respect for Shannon Sharpe. You know what I'm saying? Shannon Sharpe. As you guys know, I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. I've been a fan since the 90s, you know, early 90s. You know, I watch a lot of football, and I remember when Shannon Sharpe played for the Broncos in the Orange Crush uniforms. That's how far back I go back with football and Shannon Sharpe, you know. And I like the trajectory of the brother's career, man. You know, I liked where his career was going, man. Like when he was done with football, you know, I remember when he was on CBS. He was doing the halftime show on CBS, and he became like the voice of reason. You know, he became the voice of reason. Like, he said what a lot of us black males think, you know. But before I go any further into that, I want to talk about fanboy culture, right? Like, here's the thing, right? In my household, when I grew up, it was the Buffalo Bills, Richard Pryor, and Michael Jordan. You know, like, Richard Pryor was out of his prime, but still, in our household, those were the three things, those were the three names that we brought up in the house, man. It was the Buffalo Bills football team, Michael Jordan, Richard Pryor. We talked about those. Like, that was always something that we mentioned. Like, not a day wouldn't go by and we wouldn't mention, you know, or not a day would go by without us mentioning one of those three teams or individuals, and you have a lot of Shannon Sharpe fanboys, you have a lot of Shannon Sharpe fanboys out there, and then Shannon Sharpe is a fanboy of LeBron. I'm done with that shit. I'm done with that era. Michael Jordan is probably my favorite athlete of all time, but I keep it at that. He was dope to watch on the court. He got some dope shoes. I'm probably gonna buy some more shoes, but that's it. If my life, like, if I go throughout my whole life and never meet Michael Jordan, I'm not gonna give two shits about it. Not to be disrespectful, but I'm just, I'm not really into that fanboy shit no more, right? Like, that's not what I'm about. But I can still, like, respect somebody's career, and I respected what Shannon Sharpe was building, or is building. I don't agree with what he says, and a lot of his recent moves, I don't agree with I don't agree with how he's moving, but that's his own prerogative. He can do what he wants, So to me, like, nobody is worth that kind of, like, just blind loyalty. So let's do a quick bird's eye view of Shannon Sharpe's career, right? And you're going to see a commonality with all this, right? So when Shannon Sharpe was when he was doing the halftime show for CBS, he was, like, really picking up steam. And then if you remember, I mean, some of you guys might be too young, or you may have forgotten, but he had an allegation or had a case where a woman accused him of stalking her, right? And I believe that's why CBS parted ways with him, because it just picked up too much steam in the media and it was making their publicity look bad. So he goes away, comes back, now he's, on ESPN, I'm not sure what he did between that and FS1, but then he got picked up by, Skip Bayless, and they partnered up, did FS1. They had their clash, they had their fallout, right? Then he started his whole Club Shay podcast, and, did his nightcap, and then he had that incident where he accidentally somehow magically pushed all the right buttons to start an Instagram live while he was conveniently smashing a chick, and it's hard to start a live. You just don't push a button. It's like you got to do a lot of stuff to start a live. So that was cap. But anyways, he basically was doing that to, I guess, walk that line of trying to prove to the world, or prove to the powers that be, or prove to individuals that, he wasn't gay. That's what I think. I believe that's why that whole thing played out. And I believe it was 100% orchestrated, but when he did that, it put him in trouble with ESPN. So he had to kind of go back and, make things right with ESPN. And then he got away from it. But right when that happened, right after all that happened, boom, them red pills came out. Them sex pills came out. You know what I mean? So you got that situation. Now he's about to ink $100 million deal for a podcast network. And then he had a case that came his way, or some allegations where he was being accused of sexual assault on two cases, right? I'm not here to dissect the case or do all that, right? I'm looking at, like, the bigger picture here, right? The bigger picture is, here's the thing, man. In my opinion, in my humble opinion, like, Shannon Sharpe right now is the Anthony Joshua of media moguls, right? Like, he has great execution, great discipline, hardworking, he can, like, he has great offense, but he has no defense. Like, when you build, here's the thing, right? When you build some shit, you got to protect it. And right now he has no defense for what he's doing. It's like, it's like in one, it's like basically he's trying to live a life where he portrays himself as this family figure that can be seen on family television, but behind the scenes he want to be a hoe. You know what I'm saying? And um my thing is like if you spend all like if you spend all the energy building that up just so someone can come and knock it over or take it away from you, what are you building and why? Like why waste your time? You know what I'm saying? So if you guys don't know, here's the thing, man. Here's like this is all just like, recent or whatever. But let me pull this up. I want to show you something right quick, man. Like, look, at the end of the day, people like what they like. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna sit up here and judge people for what it is that for what they like or whatever. But here's the thing, man. If you're building an empire, right? If you're building an empire, right, and you like to smash off little Sailor Moon looking joint, like this joint right here, this is the chick that has the case coming his way, where she wants $50 million in a settlement, you know, right? Look at this chick. She looked like one of them two, she looked like one of the Sailor Moon Jones, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that's unattractive. I'm just saying it's not my type. But Shannon Sharpe is in his 50s, 60s or whatever, or he's what, mid 50s, late 50s. He like what he like. But why are you gonna build something, or why are you gonna build something to where a little Sailor Moon chick can come and knock your shit all over, right? It's like he's like the Three Little Pigs in reverse. You know what I'm saying? Like he's building his empire out of straw, and this little Sailor Moon chick is like the big bad wolf. She coming by to huff and puff and blow his shit away. Why? What's the point? You know what I mean? So here's in my opinion, here's what Shannon should do, right? Because on Nightcap and on the Nightcap show, he be talking about, oh, I'm trying to find me love. I'm trying to find love. No, nigga, you not trying to find love, man. You trying to get out here and smash these little college Johns, man. You know what I'm saying? So he should just lean into that, right? He should just go on and just lean into that, right? Like, look, he could look. Shay. I said Shay. Shannon could be, Shannon Sharpe could be like the Walt Disney of porn, right? He could just literally build an empire and like revitalize the porn industry, because the porn industry is like, it's scattered. It's not organized, right? I mean, I don't know how I know that, but I just know. But the porn industry is scattered. And to me, it's like, if Shannon Sharpe likes to smash off little college Johns, little 20-year-olds, man, why not have a team and have a legal team to where you do it all lawful and legal, right? Why not just do the shit lawful and legally, right? Just have all the paperwork, have a team of people that vet all the little Sailor Moon chicks that he want to smash off. You know what I'm saying? Have them go line up. And when he lines them up, you could be on camera smashing them, right? So that way you don't have to accidentally go on Instagram and go start a live on accident to prove whatever it is you want to prove. You can just put the shit out there. This is what I do. I smash Sailor Moon Jones, right? That's all. Look, that's all he gotta do, man. Like he should lean into that. Like he could be the Dana White of porn, right? Stop. Like, what's the point in trying to build something when your private life can bring down your whole empire, right? Like this is the third occasion where a woman could, this is the third attempt or the third time where a woman had the power or was coming at trying to bring down his career. You know what I'm saying? So why put all that work, all that discipline, all why risk all that? You know what I'm saying? So that's just my 2 cents on the shit, man. Like me personally, like he's too old for that shit. But if you gonna do dumb shit and do dumb shit like this, at least lean into it and be smart about it. Like he's not even playing chess right now. He's not even playing dominoes, yo. He up here playing craps with his legacy and everything that he built. So to me, the real pimp move would be to be like, you know what? If you can't get a hose up, if you can't leave the little Sailor Moon chicks alone, man, just lean into it, yo, and be like, this is what I do. And just set it up lawful and legally so you can be on camera, you know, spilling gravy in these chicks or whatever and doing what you love to do and talking sports. It may cost some ESPN, but you never know. Like, if he starts his little porn network or starts a big porn network, this shit could be huge and it could grow to the point to where ESPN may want to be like, hey, we can have you on as a guest star. We can't have you on as a panelist or as a paid employee, but as a special guest, we'll have you on. And then boom, he gets the best of both worlds. Or the best of all three worlds, or however you want to put it, you know? I want to point something out too, man. This is funny. Like, I just like realized this. So at the time I'm recording this, Shannon Sharpe put out a message saying that he's stepping away from ESPN, you know, due to all the allegations and all the heat that's coming his way. But it's funny, man, because I just watched Corey Holcomb 5150 show, and Corey a fool, man. Corey said, you know, Corey believes that, you know, he's a switch hitter, right? Like he plays on both sides of the fence, you know, that's what Corey believes, right? And Corey was saying his whole thing was, he said if he believes everything was orchestrated, he believes that the lawyer Busby is in on it. He believes that the little Sailor Moon chick is in on it. He believes it's all orchestrated by Shannon Sharpe, you know what I'm saying, to prove his masculinity. So Corey said if ESPN hasn't fired him by the end of the week, if he's still working on ESPN by the end of the week, you know, this was all orchestrated, you know. And the fact that Shannon Sharpe stepped down to me is just hilarious because it all falls within Corey's framework, man. But I'm not here to judge or here to say whether it was orchestrated or not. I think when you're about to ink $100 million deal, I mean, I don't see why you would let something like that get in the way, you know? But it is what it is, man. So that's what I'm saying, man. It's like, to me, it's like when you're building something, you got to think about how. So I can tell Shannon Sharpe and read the 48 Laws of Power, man. Because when you read the 48 Laws of Power, anything you build, you gonna try to find out, you're gonna do the analysis and look at all the corner conditions and all the corner cases to figure out how someone can destroy your shit. And you gonna have a defense for every corner case for that shit. And he ain't do that. Right? Like, he's leaving his chin wide open for these little Sailor Moon chicks to come through and KO his whole legacy and to KO his whole work. You know what I mean? So hopefully Shannon Sharpe and his team are going back and they're rethinking how they gonna move, yo, because let's just itemize everything, right? He got caught, quote unquote, smashing a chick on Instagram live or whatever. He got a chick with and those text messages, man, gutter sex. That's what I'm saying, right? Look, here's the proof, right? You had the chick on, you had him go live on Instagram live or whatever, getting caught smashing the chick or whatever, you know, talk about that's mama chill. That's mama chill, right? You had him doing that. Then he came out with the red pills, the sex pills to keep him going, right? So he's selling sex pills. He's selling smashing Instagram chicks or smashing on Instagram live. Then on top of that, when you look at them text messages from the little Sailor Moon chick, you know what I'm saying? All that shit, that was all gutter sex, man. Like, who talks to someone that they dating like that? He out there dating smut Jones, man. When you read them text messages, yo, that's not someone looking for love, man. That's someone that's just trying to get down with the get down. Talking about put a black baby in them and getting choked and put your gravy in me, nigga. I'm like, yo, that's just smut talk, nigga. That ain't love. So I'm like, look, if this is what you are behind closed doors and this is what you sell, lean into it. Lean into the shit. Right? Like I said, he could really, like, with the platform. Here's the thing. Right now, Shannon Sharpe has all reach and no leverage. Right? He has his reach is long. Right? He has a lot of reach, but no leverage. It's like the real estate mogul, quote unquote, or someone that legally buys houses but doesn't own any of them outright because he has to keep tenants in them to pay a mortgage so he can pay the actual house off. You know, did I say that right? Like, a lot of people, I remember, like, before the pandemic, you had a lot of people that would go out and they would buy houses legally in their name where they had mortgages on all the houses, but they didn't own them outright. And they were banking on the residents or people that they would put in the houses to pay the rent so they could in turn pay the mortgage. When the pandemic happened and people lost their jobs, a lot of people had to sell them houses because they weren't getting the income to pay the mortgage on the houses, right? It's kind of like Shannon Sharpe's situation right now, right? It's like he has all the, like, he's an employee at ESPN, right? He has his, you know, Shay, and he has his nightcap, which are mainly his, but he has investors that are tied to that. You know what I mean? So it's like he has all this reach, but no leverage. So the way you create leverage is you lean into your weakness. And the weakness is them little Sailor Moon chicks, man. Lean into them. Go on, like, I mean, don't even go on to OnlyFans. Just start your own platform under your own shit and just go out and recruit the little Sailor Moon chicks, get them contracts written up, have them come through, and boom, you got your little porn network, and you can be the Walt Disney of the porn industry, man. And you can talk sports, and you can still talk your shit at Nightcap. And if your numbers keep growing, ESPN's gonna have no choice but to continue fucking with you. Now, you're not gonna be an employee of ESPN, but you can still be on the show as a guest, as a special guest. And that's the way you want it. Right? So, anywho, that's just my 2 cents on the Shannon Sharpe situation. I'm not here to break down the case. I'm not here to go through all that, man. It's like, I ain't got time to be, you know, worrying about what a grown man in his 50s be doing with the young chicks and the young Johns or whatever. But I'm just saying, from a professional standpoint or from a legacy standpoint of what you building, you always have to figure out how people can fuck your shit up. If you're not doing that, if you're not doing the analytics on how people can fuck your shit up, you know, you just building on sand, right? And when the tides come in, your shit can be washed away. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping that Shannon, you know, goes back with his team and they strategize and figure out how they're going to move forward differently, man, because he can't keep moving like this. Like, he keeps this shit up for the next 5 years, he going to lose all his shit, right? That's just how it's going to work. You know what I mean? So, anywho, that's all for me. AT is where it's at on most forms of social media, so make sure you follow me. And what am I talking about? Without further ado, I'm out of here, folks. Peace. Yep. Tripping with Theobold.
Let's go.
Caliente.
Tripping. Yep. Tripping. Tripping. Tripping with Theobold.
Tripping with Theobold.